Samajwadi Party has announced its third candidate for the Rajya Sabha. It's Akhilesh Yadav, Samajwadi Party, declaring ally Jayant Chaudhary of the RLD as the candidate for Rajya Sabha polls. This comes a day after he was told that the Samajwadi Party will not be sending him to the Rajya Sabha. So there we have it. Akhilesh Yadav siding with Jayant Chaudhary, choosing Jayant Chaudhary over Dimple Yadav. And to get more details, we have my colleague Alok joining us. Alok, last-minute negotiations working in favour of Jayant Chaudhary.
Well, perhaps on a lighter note, Divya, I mean, the perils of source-based journalism is that yesterday you had a situation where, there were suggestions that Dimple Yadav's name has been finalized for the name of the Samajwadi Party's candidate as the third Samajwadi Party candidate for the Rajya Sabha. And this morning you have official news tweeted by the Samajwadi Party's handle that it is going to be Jayant Chaudhary, the ally of Akhilesh Yadav, who's going to go to the Rajya Sabha courtesy the Samajwadi Party. On a more serious note, given that this announcement took 12 hours more than the announcement of the other two candidates, which are Kapil Sibal and Javed Ali, there certainly must have been some backroom negotiations, pushing and pulling that would have taken place, because otherwise you'd have had a situation where his name would also have been announced yesterday, or he may have gone ahead and filed his nomination yesterday itself, along with the other two candidates, isn't it, Divya? But that said, there is some interesting back and forth that appears to have happened. It does seem that initially what Akhilesh Yadav or the Samajwadi Party wanted was that they wanted Jayant Chaudhary to go to the Rajya Sabha, but on the Samajwadi Party symbol. So he, of course, heads a different party, the RLD. And he is somebody whose party has performed well enough in Western Uttar Pradesh in alliance with the Samajwadi Party. But we do believe that initially the Samajwadi Party and its chief, Mr. Akhilesh Yadav, wanted Jayant to go to the Rajya Sabha, but as a SP candidate, or at least on a SP symbol. And this is something that wasn't acceptable really to Jayant Chaudhary. And that is where negotiations appear to have hit a pause. At least that is what quote-unquote sources have been saying. And then you had the name of Dimple Yadav, who's a former Lok Sabha MP. And also Akhilesh Yadav's wife. Her name was floated that she would be the third candidate who would go to the Rajya Sabha. But that hasn't happened. And it appears that, last minute there have been negotiations between the two. I think the Samajwadi Party also realizes that that Jayant is somebody whose party has a strong footing in the western part of the state, and it is an alliance with Akhilesh Yadav's party. So perhaps, rather than ruffle feathers, it would be wiser to send him to the Rajya Sabha and to have him represent the alliance there. That's number one. Number two, just 30 seconds about the...
Day after day. Yesterday we heard Kapil Sibal, resigning from the Congress party and getting support from the Samajwadi Party. Today we have Jayant Chaudhary, whose name is being, in fact, also Javed Ali. So, a lot of surprises as far as the Samajwadi is concerned.
Well, yes, but this is also a very interesting election, and I was coming to that. You see, 11 seats in the Rajya Sabha from Uttar Pradesh will be polling in the first or second week of June, and the BJP is in a position to win 7 of those 11. The Samajwadi Party is in a position to win 3 of those 11 seats. On one seat, there may be a contest. So, again, yes, you are right. There are surprises. I mean, one didn't expect that Kapil Sibal perhaps would be made the Rajya Sabha nominee by the Samajwadi Party. Though there was this news that, Mr. Sibal would either go to the Rajya Sabha courtesy the Samajwadi Party from Lucknow or from Ranchi courtesy the Jharkhand Mukti Morcha of Hemant Soren. But ultimately, it's come down to the fact that the Samajwadi Party has an interesting mix of candidates. You have Mr. Sibal, renowned lawyer, long-time Congress person who told us yesterday that he had resigned from the Congress. Then you have Javed Ali, a former secretary of the Jamia Millia Islamia Students Union. He was a Rajya Sabha MP earlier too. He is a Muslim face. The Samajwadi Party wants to send out that signal by sending a Muslim candidate to the Rajya Sabha after reports that Azam Khan, the party MLA and the Muslim strongman, so to say, within the party, and the Muslims per se, there are some reports that they are upset with the Samajwadi Party. So that is a signal there. And now Jayant Chaudhary, a crucial ally of the Samajwadi Party, and he is also being sent to the Rajya Sabha. So interesting times ahead for the opposition. Akhilesh himself is now the leader of opposition in the UP Assembly. So the opposition also very much trying to make their presence felt politically, not only in UP, but also in the national scheme of things.